Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 25th August 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. All the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. To access all the lessons, you can click on the tab posts. Some of you might be seeing community tab. In that case, click on the tab. Then you get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that is having all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. To access the first lesson, scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions. I provided all my training instructions at our Telegram channel. You can find the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So join at our Telegram channel. In the old messages or previous messages or even in the pinned messages, you can find all the training instructions. If you can learn the course according to those training instructions, then it will be helpful to you to become a very good independent trader. Please make use of this opportunity. Now I am going to generate different supply demand zone reports with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. First, I am going to generate finding the stocks near daily and 75 minutes demand and supply zones so that we can identify high liquidity zones from those time frames, and those high liquidity zones you can use for your high liquidity zone strategy that you learned in lesson 21.3 video. And also few instructions. Each report I will be giving you very few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the reports and then proceed to the next reports. Okay, starting with the daily time frame. Stocks near to the daily demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Those who don't understand the structure of this report, I request you complete the training lesson 21.1 video. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, now let us identify daily high liquidity demand zones. Angel 1 is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. And one more, we got Lupin is also having a daily high liquidity demand zone. So total we identified 2 daily high liquidity demand zones from this list. Okay, next for daily time frame, stocks near to the daily supply zone. We got 4 stocks. And we don't have any daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone, we got 10 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. First one is a Dixon, having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. The next one is a Godrej Consumer Properties. This is also having 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. That's it. We got 2 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones. Okay, next for 75 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 75 minutes supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. The first one is a Bajaj Auto having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. Next one is a Cummins India is also having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. It is also having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. If a stock is having both high liquidity zones, sometimes you may get trade opportunities on either side. That's it. We got 275 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. So we have completed high liquidity zone identification from both these reports. Next we will move on to generation of NIFTY and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. Starting with NIFTY monthly time frame, I am generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. In any supply demand zone chain report, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones, and also look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. You already learned one time frame higher is ITF and one more time frame higher is HTF. And please remember these rules for all the supply demand zone chain reports. And also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you very few seconds time to watch the reports. Okay, next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Okay, next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So the nearest demand zone to the current closing price is serial number 28. I will put it in the middle of the page. Okay. So this is a NIFTY supply demand zone chain for different time frames. Next, I will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. So I'm going back, changing the name to Nifty Bank. That is nothing but Bank Nifty. Then generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Here the nearest demand zone to the current closing price is serial number 21, Pierce demand zone. Let me keep it in the middle of the page. Okay. So this is a Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain report generation. So we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain generation. Next I will generate bullish, bearish, sideways trade setups for different income trades. So starting with monthly income trade, sideways long trade setup, entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone. Here bullish or bearish or sideways. At a daily I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 11 for sideways. Let's filter. We got 3 stocks. Sideways long trade setup. This is a pierced zone you can't use, but you can apply only for pierced zone strategy. So total 3 stocks we got. Entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Okay, next sideways short trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame zones are daily supply zone and here sideways short. Let's filter. We don't have any stocks. Okay, next bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily demand zone. And bullish or bearish, here I am setting bullish. And minimum odd enhancer score should be 12 for bullish or bearish. Let's filter. So we got 23 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. And entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. So total we got first 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total we got 23 stocks. So all these entry time frame zones are demand zones. Daily demand zones. So total we got 23 daily demand zones. Out of these 23 daily demand zones, there could be some daily demand zones might be having high probability to get success. So how to identify them? For that we define different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that I explained in lesson 27. So the first strategy, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, and then ITF EMA confluence. So I am applying that strategy on these 23 stocks. First I will filter based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly demand zone confluence, LTF and ITF. So by enabling the filter and applying on the 23 stocks, now the list is come down to 16 stocks. In all the 16 stocks, all these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. That is what demand zone confluence, daily plus weekly. Okay, out of these 16 demand zones, all stocks are having ITF trend as uptrend. So in uptrend you can apply EMA confluence because the daily zone is overlapped with weekly zone. So you need to look for weekly EMA confluence because the daily demand is inside the weekly demand zone. So we are using weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence. Okay, by setting the filter, now the list is come down to 10 stocks. So these 10 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. That's why lesson 20 checklist is very, very important. If they are all passed, then only you can trust that zone. Otherwise, anytime the zone may violate. But otherwise, these 10 stocks might be having more high probability if they pass lesson 20 checklist items. Okay, this is based on the strategy LTF and ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. That is nothing but daily and weekly demand zone confluence and weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence. You can see, look into the search strategy. Weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence. Any doubt, always look into the search strategy so that you understand how we filtered the stocks. Okay, next strategy, LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence. After that, HTF demand zone with HTF EMA confluence. So I'm going back, removing this EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF. So first I will filter based on LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. So here we need to set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, daily and weekly. Next, daily and monthly demand zone confluence. Weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. By setting all the 3 filters, daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, all these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is uptrend in 3 stocks. Out of 4, 3 are having uptrend. These uptrend stocks, if they are having monthly demand zone, having monthly, because this is the uptrend in monthly time frame. And the daily and weekly zones are part of the monthly zone. That's why in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am checking monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence. At the same time, monthly trend should not be sideways. It should be only uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So let's filter. We got 1 stock. That way, this daily demand zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. That is what this particular report, sorry. So this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next we will look into bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame, daily, entry zone, supply zone. Here bullish or bearish or at a daily time frame, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 3 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. Out of these 3 stocks, let us identify high probability trade setup daily supply zones. As we already discussed, the first filter is LTF and ITF, but this time supply zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly supply zone confluence. By enabling the filter, out of 3, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 daily supply zones are having zone confluence with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend, that is ITF trend, is a downtrend in both the stocks. Let's further filter based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Inside weekly, daily supply zone is there. Sorry, weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence. None of the stocks are having weekly EMA confluence. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one, daily and weekly supply zone confluence, already enabled. Next, daily and monthly supply zone confluence, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. Both these stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with the weekly supply zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. Sideways trend EMA confluence does not give any advantage. So I am not further filtering. So this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. So this is a monthly income trade reports. Next we will generate weekly income trade reports. So weekly income trade sideways long trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. Here bullish or bearish or sideways at 75 minutes. I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. minimum odd enhancer score 11 for sideways, and also 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. We don't want pierced zone. So that's why in the pierced count parameter at 75 minutes time frame, I'm setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means the pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. Which is zone? 75 minutes demand zone, whatever you select here. The filter will be applied on this 75 minutes demand zone. So we got 3 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. Okay, next sideways short trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame zone is 75 minutes supply zone. Here sideways short trade setup. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks. Sideways short trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zones. Okay, next bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, 75 minutes demand zone. Here bullish, and also minimum odd enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 15 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and all the entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So total we got 15 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 15, there could be some high probability trade setup 75 minutes demand zones might be available. We need to filter them based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. Okay, first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, and then ITF EMA confluence. So on these 15 stocks, I'm applying the filter. I'm going back. In the demand zone confluence, I'm adding a new filter. 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. That is LTF and ITF. We got 8 stocks. In all the 8 stocks, 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And also daily trend, that is ITF trend, is uptrend in all the stocks. So let us further filter based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Because 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped with daily demand zone. We got 6 stocks. In these six 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, these zones might be violated. Okay, next, LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence, and then HTF EMA confluence. That is 75 minutes daily and weekly demand zone confluence. After that, weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence. Let us set those filters. First, I am removing this EMA filter. First, I am focusing on demand zone confluence with all 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 and daily. Next, 75 minutes and weekly, daily and weekly demand zone confluence with all the 3 filters. We don't have any stocks. Okay, this is a, let me check, no mistakes are there. No stocks, okay. So next let us look into bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. Here bullish or bearish at 75 minutes, selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12, and also 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 3 stocks. All the 3 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. So total 3 stocks we got. Out of these 3, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies. So first filter is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. Sorry, I made a mistake. This is demand zone. I removed the filter. We should focus on supply zone. Supply zone confluence, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence, because it is bearish trade setup. So we got all 3 stocks. In all the 3 stocks, the 75 minute supply zones overlapped with daily supply zone, and daily trend is a downtrend in all the 3 stocks. Let's further filter based on EMA confluence and daily time frame. That is daily supply zone with daily EMA, and inside the daily supply zone we have 75 minute supply zone is there. So 2 stocks are filtered. That way these 2 75 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provided less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, otherwise zones might be violated. Okay, next LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, and then HTF EMA confluence. So I'm going back, removing ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is 75 and daily, already enabled. 75 and weekly, daily and weekly supply zone confluence. By enabling all the 3 filters, we got all 3 again. That means in all the 3, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is downtrend in both. Let's verify any of these 2 zones are having EMA, weekly EMA confluence. That is weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence, and one stock is having sideways trend. We don't want that. So weekly trend I am setting only downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. We got one stock. So this weekly supply zone having weekly. That's why it is already tested twice. It may work further, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise zone might be violated. So this is bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, daily income trade. Entry time frame zone is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. Bullish or bearish or sideways at 15 minutes. Selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhanced score 11. And 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 6 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Okay. Next, sideways short trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zone 15 minutes supply zone, and also here sideways short trade setup. So we got 2 stocks, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zone. Okay, next, bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zone 15 minutes demand zone. Here bullish, and also minimum odd and enhanced score 12. We got 13 stocks. Bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and all the entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. So total we got 13 stocks. Out of these 13, 15 minutes demand zone, there could be some high probability trade setup demand zones might be available based on different zone confluence and EMA Confluence strategies that we already learned in lesson 27. So the first strategy is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, and then ITF EMA confluence. So that is nothing but 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. So I'm enabling the filter, applying on the 13 stocks. We got 11 stocks. In all the 11 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend, ITF trend is uptrend in all the stocks. We can further filter this based on 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Now the list is come down to 4 stocks. These 4 15 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. See, some of the zones are already tested. Probably they might have listed in previous reports. But are they going to work further? They are all depending on lesson 20 checklist items should be supported. If all checklist items are satisfied, you can plan the trade. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next filter is LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence, and then HTF EMA confluence. So I am removing this ITF EMA filter. First we will look into demand zone confluence by setting 3 filters. First one is already enabled, 15 minutes and 75 minutes. Then 15 minutes and daily, and 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. By setting all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. In all the 4 stocks, all these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is uptrend in all the 4 stocks, so that we can further filter based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So let's set that filter. Daily demand zone with daily EMA. Inside daily, our entry time frame 15 minutes demand zone is overlapped. All 4 are filtered. That means all these 15 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success provided lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, this is a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Okay, next I will generate bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. Here bullish or bearish at 15 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score 12. And also 15 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 4 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. So total we got 4 stocks. Out of these 4 15 minute supply zone, let us identify high probability trade setup supply zones based on different supply zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies. So first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. It is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. By enabling the filter, we got 4 stocks, all 4. That is supply zone confluence. And also ITF trend is downtrend in all the stocks. So we can further filter based on sub EMA confluence at 75 minute supply zone. That is 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA, because the entry time frame 15 minute supply zone is overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. 3 stocks are filtered. That with these 3, 15-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. See, the first one is already tested 4 times. Is it going to work again? Our remaining zones, they're all depending on lesson 20 checklist items. If lesson 20 checklist items are passed, we can plan the trade. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next one is LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence. After that, HTF EMA confluence. So, I am removing this ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled, 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. Next one is 15 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. By setting all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. And both these stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with the daily supply zone. And daily trend is a downtrend in only one stock. Let's verify this supply zone having any daily EMA confluence. Daily supply zone with daily EMA, and also trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So this supply zone is filtered. That means this is having more high probability to get success, provided lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. So this is about a bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Okay, next I will generate stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames, starting with yearly until 5 minutes time frame, but daily and 75 minutes we already generated in the beginning of the report. So those 2 time frames we are not generating. So yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly demand zone, we got 2 stocks. Next, price closed inside the yearly supply zone, no stocks. Next time frame is a half yearly. Price closed inside half yearly demand zone, we got 5 stocks. Next, price closed inside half yearly supply zone, we got 3 stocks. Next time frame is the quarterly, stocks near to the quarterly demand zone, we got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near to the quarterly supply zone, we don't have any stocks. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone, we got first 22 stocks, we got first 21 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, so total 22 stocks. Out of these 22, how many quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence? Let's filter. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. We got 13 stocks. Okay, next, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 12 stocks. We can further filter based on quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. We got 2 stocks. Okay, next time frame is monthly. Stocks near to the monthly demand zone, we got 3 stocks. Next, stocks near to the monthly supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. First 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 29 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. We got 15 stocks. Okay, next, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 26 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. So 5 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near to the weekly demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Next, stocks near to the weekly supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 41 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. Now the list is reduced. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 25 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 45 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. Now the list is reduced to 16 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 16 stocks are filtered. Okay, next time frame daily already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near to the 125 minutes demand zone. We got 14 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 125 minutes supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Next time frame is 75 minutes already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near to the 25 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minute supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to the 15 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 15 minute supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near to the 5 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 5 minute supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Okay, this is about finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. And the final report, I'm generating stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. After that, you can proceed further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for our further study and analysis. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.